where National University of Juridical Sciences, which is one of the country's premier law schools, finds itself in the midst of a widening sexual harassment scandal.
That's right. This latest one comes just weeks after a former student accused visiting Professor Justice A.K. Ganguly of sexually harassing her. Headlines Today has uncovered evidence that NUJS may have attempted to cover up another sexual harassment case, this time involving a former staffer.
Well, the victim was reportedly forced to go to the police alone after the college buried her complaint.
The supreme irony. An institute which saw protests against alleged sexual harassment by Justice Ganguly, which ultimately disassociated itself for the former Supreme Court judge, now finds itself in the midst of a dirty sexual harassment case. It was only 5 months after the FIR was filed in the case that the accused Siddharth Guha, Assistant Registrar at NUJS, was arrested. News broken by Headlines Today on Thursday. Now, Headlines Today brings you a copy of the report of a probe committee formed by NUJS. A report which reportedly sought to cover up the case by giving an all-clear to the Assistant Registrar. We quote, ICC did not find the messages to be lewd or sexually provocative. They are an expression of the accused's romantic interest and love for the complainant. Headlines Today also has access to the emails sent by the accused, sent over a period of more than 2 years. The mails show how the accused clearly crossed the Vishaka guidelines on numerous occasions. The accused hounded and stalked the female staffer, a married lady, emailing her deep into the night, messaging her till the complainant had no choice but to approach the NUJ's Vice-Chancellor. But the nightmare did not end here. The probe committee constituted by the college submitted a seemingly biased report. The first meeting was held only 70 days after the committee was constituted. The report was filed in 94 days, 4 days after the end of the 90-day deadline as prescribed by Vishaka guidelines. The report submitted was interim. The reason it was summarily dismissed by the executive committee. Most surprisingly, it did not find anything wrong with the emails and messages sent by the accused. What's more is that the report was submitted without questioning the accused. 3 months after it was rejected, no fresh report has been submitted. Meanwhile, the victim, fearing inaction by college authorities, went to police in end July. There too, it was only after 5 months that West Bengal police took action and arrested the accused. As brought to you by Headlines Today last week, the victim had also written to the Chief Justice of India. Importantly, the letter to the Chief Justice also mentioned the accused threatening an acid attack on the victim, a topic the Apex Court is very sensitive about. 3 big questions from Headlines Today. Should the college not have acted faster in the case? Was there favoritism on part of the probe panel? And one for the cops. Why was the accused arrested 5 months after the FIR? Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
And my colleague Indrajit Kundu is joining us from Kolkata with more. Indra, clearly there appear to be 2 standards that are being applied. One for the intern sexual harassment case, and here's another case of a staffer where there was allegedly some sort of a cover-up. Just tell us a bit more about this cover-up that is being alleged by the victim, and what has been the response of the university authorities?
Well, the victim actually, filed a complaint with the university authorities, the Vice-Chancellor's office, and initially she wanted an institutional response to her complaint. Accordingly, the Vice-Chancellor had formed an internal complaints committee in accordance to the Vishaka guidelines. However, what we have seen, and there are documents to prove, that each and every procedure which is laid down in Vishaka for functioning of such a committee and the proceedings, the way the proceedings should go on, they have been flouted. The committee was supposed to meet and finalize the matter and give a final report within 90 days. That is what is mandated in the law. However, in spite of that period getting over, the committee managed to file just an interim report, and in the interim report they went ahead and said that there was no sexual harassment, that most of it was a romantic liaison between the two persons trying to put aspersions on the character of the victim. And also another important point that the victim has raised is that when she lodged an FIR, she was asked by this committee, the internal complaints committee, as to why she went ahead and filed an FIR. Why was there a delay in filing an FIR? So a lot of questions being raised on the character of the victim. At the same time, the university authorities, in the kind of steps that they have taken, clearly goes on to show that they were going soft on the accused. However, there was a case which was made prima facie. That's the reason why the Calcutta High Court had rejected the anticipatory bail of the accused, which finally led to his arrest last week. So there was a clear case as far as the sexual harassment of NUJS staff is concerned. However, being a premier law university which has the Chief Justice of India as a Chancellor, it was expected of them to follow the law as set by the rule book. However, they kept flouting each and every norm just to shield the accused in this case. So therefore, it seems like there are two standards, one in case of Justice Ganguly, where there was direct cognizance taken by the Chief Justice of India. However, in this case, when he is the Chancellor and this comes directly within his purview, not much had been actually done as far as an institutional response from NUJS is concerned. Back to you.
Indrajit Kundu, many thanks for joining us. Surprisingly shoddy institutional mechanism there in place to deal with sexual harassment cases at one of the premier law schools.